Hi everyone, I hope you are all doing well and staying healthy and safe. I miss you all very much. Hopefully this will be over very soon. Today we're going to continue to work on the short story Harrison Bergeron. Last week we talked about satire, we spoke about the different qualities or characteristics of dystopian literature, and so today we're going to kind of talk about all of those things and add this idea of irony as well. What you're going to be doing today as part of your classwork is completing a double-sided worksheet, one that has you list the different types of irony that's found in the short story, and then we're also going to focus on the type of structure that our author uses when structuring this short story. And then as your assessment, after this, you're going to be completing an extended response on what exactly is Vonnegut Jr. satirizing. What is it that he is poking fun at? So again, last week we read the short story. I have it pulled up here on the screen. What I would like you to do, if you haven't done so already, is to make sure that you have this copy with you. And then again, as part of your classwork today, we're going to be working on this worksheet. And I'm going to pull it up on the video here for you. So at the top here it says irony in satire, and they're going to give you a few examples of ironic passages from the story. It says, keep in mind that situational irony is a difference between what you expect to happen and what really happens. And verbal irony is a difference between what is said and what is meant. So they want you to try and find out what makes each one of the passages below ironic. And on the back, I'm giving you an additional worksheet. So if you take a look briefly with me, you have 4 different types of passages, and I just want you to, forget about this page number here that's in reference to a textbook edition of the story. They give you the ironic passage. They give you a hint to think about why this might be ironic or what is really meant in the passage, and then they want you to write in why this particular passage is ironic. Once we're done with that, the second part of the worksheet is having you think about the type of technique that Vonnegut Jr. uses. So it says, what important technique or structure does Vonnegut Jr. use to convey a theme or central idea? So we spoke a lot about this word convey throughout the year. New York State likes to use that. You see it on a lot of your assessments, but very simply a synonym would be maybe the word express or to describe. So in other words, what important technique or structure does Vonnegut Jr. use to express a theme or a central idea? So they already give you one particular structure that is used in the story, and that is the idea of setting. Okay, so we're going to come back to this in a little bit to talk about the importance of the setting. George and Hazel Bergeron are sitting in front of their TV and watching the entire story play out, and they're not very moved by seeing their son killed on TV. So why would the author want these characters to watch these events on TV? What would be the purpose? And by doing that, what is it that he's trying to say? That's what we're going to be completing today. So let's go back to the first page that I want us to focus on. And again, they're giving us a particular passage, and this comes from the beginning part of the story. It says, Hazel had a perfectly average intelligence, which meant she couldn't think of anything except in short bursts. And George, while his intelligence was way above normal, had a little mental handicap radio in his ear. So we want to figure out how or why this particular passage is ironic. And in the hint box, they're asking you to look for the oxymoron in the passage. If Hazel has average intelligence, and it means that she couldn't think of anything except in short bursts, why is it that she doesn't have some sort of handicap radio or transmitter to help her think about different things? Here it's her husband, George, whose intelligence is way above normal, who is being neutralized. He's the one with the mental handicap to cause him to stop thinking. So if this pair here didn't have any type of handicaps to anesthetize them or to numb their thinking, maybe George would be willing to help his wife think a little bit more, right? She would raise up to his level rather than having him stoop down to her level of intelligence. This is what's ironic. So here in the irony box, they want you to go ahead and write that in. So I'm going to create a text box. So I'm going to write Hazel does not have anything to help her think, while her husband, George, does. And I'm just going to move this down for you. So the irony here is that George is being kept from thinking and using his intelligence. And that's all I would write on the box. The next passage that you have, it says, "I'd think it would be real interesting hearing all of the different sounds," said Hazel, a little nervous. "All the things they think up." So this is coming from the part where George complains that those neurotransmitters are going off in his head. It's when Hazel was saying how it would be really nice if she could be a ballerina, that the newscaster did a very good job, even though he wasn't able to articulate his words. So they want you to think about what the word envious here implies. It says that she is a little envious of the people that have those handicaps, those neurotransmitters in their heads. In other words, she's jealous of her husband because anytime he thinks, he stopped with all of those noises. So what is ironic about this? Okay, so think about our own selves. Would we want to have something that constricts us, that restrains us from being able to do something that we could do very well? Okay, so I would like you to please write that in the last column. And then you have two additional passages that I'd like you to work on. She must have been extraordinarily beautiful because the mask she wore was hideous. This is talking about the ballerina that Harrison sees when he enters the newsroom. And if her mask is hideous, then that tells us that she must be very beautiful. The mask is a handicap. It's covering up how pretty she is so that she does not have an advantage over others. Okay? So they want you to tell me why this particular passage would be ironic. And the last one, ballerinas, technicians, musicians, and announcers cowered to their knees before Harrison, expecting to die. They want you to think about what Harrison really intended to do. Remember, he's supposed to be the protagonist. He is the quote-unquote hero. So if he's coming in to quote-unquote rescue them, why are they in fear of him and they're bowing down to him in fear for their lives? So I'd like you to please write why this particular passage is ironic in this last column. So once you're done with that, the next part of your classwork is to complete the next page, which again talks about text structure. Try and make this a little smaller. Okay. So they're asking you to focus on the idea of setting. It says the entire narrative, the story, takes place as George and Hazel sit in front of the television. That should be an I. What is Vonnegut's purpose in having the television set as the primary setting? And they want you to cite text evidence for the significance of the TV. So again, what is the purpose of having the TV set as the primary setting? Having George and Hazel sit and watch all of this on TV. So on the right column, they give you the different reasons that they want you to focus on, and you have to complete it. The first one is done for you. One effect or purpose for having the TV as the primary setting is because it shows how technology numbs the viewers. Hazel is crying about something she sees, but she doesn't know why she's crying. She's watching her son be killed on TV, and although it's sad, she doesn't realize that it's her own son that has just been killed. And as soon as it's over and the TV goes blank, she kind of forgets about what was just happening. Another effect or purpose for having the TV set as the primary setting is to show how government uses it to enforce laws. And here they want you to explain how. How is the TV being used by the government to enforce its laws on its people? Think about what happens in the beginning part of the story when George and Hazel are sitting in front of the TV. Another effect or purpose for having the TV set as the primary setting could be to intimidate its viewers. Think about how anyone watching what George and Hazel are, what they would think. They see Harrison on the TV screen, and he begins to remove all of the handicaps from the people that are in this station, this news station. How does TV intimidate its viewers? And then the last one is terrorizing the citizens. How does the use of technology, in this case TV, help to terrorize or to bring fear to its citizens? Think about what the handicapper general did at the end of the story. So you're going to be completing this today. You're going to submit it for me. It's going to be due tomorrow, Wednesday, by 9 a.m. And then you have an extended response where you're going to hopefully be able to refer back to this to help you answer the extended response. What is it that our author, Vonnegut Jr., is poking fun at? What idea? And what is it that he's trying to say about it? Is he in agreement? Or is he trying to express his disagreement about something in society?